want to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about personally your personal journey, and you've done some amazing things that you've mentioned in terms of sports. But one thing I read in the Bold Journey feature was about your work with Cirque du Soleil. You want to talk a little bit about
Yeah.
that, and then talk about maybe your personal journey of dealing with adversity in your career?
Yeah, so Cirque du Soleil was an amazing opportunity for me. I never dreamed of working in the circus. That was never a goal of mine. That was never the intention. I wanted basketball. I wanted to work in professional basketball, and I was very tunnel vision in that goal. Everyone who knew me prior to that point knew Alicia and basketball, and that's it. Like every professor, every coworker, every like classmate, it was the goal was always professional basketball. And I had really pursued that and really started to block out anything and everything that I felt was going to get in the way of that goal, including my own self, my own feelings, my own mental health, my own wellness, my own worth, my own boundaries, what I'm willing to sacrifice. I even shut out myself in that process. And when I finally got to professional basketball, I was kind of like, well, what is this? Like this isn't that grandiose moment that I thought I was going to walk upon, like we just talked about these big moments of success. I got there and I was very unhappy and I was
Oh,
very,
wow.
very unhappy. And I, was like, why? Why am I unhappy? This was everything that I had been working toward, and there was no particular reason, right? It was just I got there and I was very unhappy and I was very dissatisfied. I was dissatisfied with my life, my work life balance, the quality of the life, and the relationships that I had.
Yeah.
And I realized, you know, I had let my goals become my values, and I didn't even know
Mhm.
that. And by the time I got there, I didn't even know what the difference between a goal and a value was anymore. My goal of basketball had become my values, my identity, my worth. And when it wasn't fulfilling, that really shook me. And I had to like it was basically like starting all over again. I started seeing a therapist who that
Wow,
was
that part, that
her
part,
first
therapy.
yeah, it was her that was and honestly like that was her introduction to my therapy was like we need to break this down to some very basic skills of what is an emotion, like what is a feeling, what is a value versus a goal, because I really didn't know. At that point I didn't know. All I knew was, what degrees I needed to get, the achievements I needed to have, the type of resume that I needed, and I didn't know anything about my life. I didn't even know any hobbies. I had no interests. I
Wow.
didn't know what I liked.